Students, so today we have to start with the third type of simple permanent tissue. And what is the third type of simple permanent tissue? That is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is also known as dead simple permanent tissue. And why it is known as dead simple permanent tissue? Because the cells found in sclerenchyma is dead. And why it is said to be dead? Because the internal cellular components of these cells are dried up. Okay, so it may come in the reasoning based question. So which simple permanent tissue is known as the dead simple permanent tissue? That is sclerenchyma. And why it is known as dead simple permanent tissue? Because the cells present in this is dead. And why these cells are dead? Because the internal cellular components of the cell are dried up. And internal cellular components of the cell is only the living matter that we have already discussed in the previous chapter. Okay, so scleros it means hard, chyma it means fusion. So when there is a hard infusion of the substance, such type of simple permanent tissue is known as sclerenchyma. Now what are the structural features of the sclerenchyma? The cells are elongated, narrow and dead cells. Cells are elongated, narrow and dead cells. The cell wall is thickened due to the deposition of lignin. The cell wall gets thickened due to the deposition of lignin. Okay, and internal cellular components are dried up. So whatever cytoplasm, nucleoplasm and the cellular organelles, that is dried up. So that is why the cell becomes dead, and this is why this simple permanent tissue is the dead simple permanent tissue. And intercellular space is absent. The cells are compactly packed to each other and internal cellular components are absent. So here is the TS or LS of the sclerenchyma tissue. LS it means longitudinal section. So cell wall is thickened, and how the cell wall is thickened? Due to the deposition of lignin. Okay, then internal cellular components are dried up, so empty spaces are there, and this empty space is known as what? Lumen. No intercellular space is there in between the cells. The intercellular space is absent. Okay, so these are the structural features of sclerenchyma. Now where it is present? It is present in the stem and veins of the leaves. In the old movies, you must have seen that the hero of the movie keeps the leaf in the book, and after so many years only the veins and veinlets are visible. So this veins and veinlets is having this sclerenchyma tissue, and this sclerenchyma tissue is the dead tissue. That is why this part is not getting decomposed, whereas the less living part of the leaf will get decomposed. Okay, so it is just to help you to memorize. It is present in the stem and veins of the leaves, and its function is to provide the mechanical strength to the plant. There are two types of sclerenchyma. This is sclerenchymatous fibers and this is sclerete. So it's on the basis of a structural feature. What is the difference? Sclerenchymatous fibers cells are elongated and scleretes are rounded. Okay, in both of their cell wall is thickened due to the deposition of lignin, and the empty spaces inside the cell, that is known as lumen. Okay, so scleretes is the hard gritty masses, so that is why it is also known as stone cells. And where it is present? It is present in the pulp of pear. You must have tasted the pear. So small gritty masses, while you are chewing the pulp of pear, that gritty masses is the scleretes. That is a type of sclerenchyma. Then the shell of walnut. So what is the function of this scleretes? In this case, it helps in the protection of seed. It helps in the protection of seeds. Okay, then another type of sclerenchyma is the sclerenchymatous fibers. Their structure is fiber like. The cells are elongated. It is present in the stems of the jute, linen and hemp, and its purpose that it is useful for the textile industry. Fibers obtained from these plants is useful for the textile industry, and as well as it is also used for making of ropes and the mats. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you everyone.